let's get started in a comfortable position. So you can lie down on your back if you want to. You can be in an upright seat. We're just going to have a brief breathing practice. This is called Bhramari Breath. Your inhale is coming in through your nose. Your exhale, you're humming. It's kind of like you're oming, but with your mouth closed. So it's like inhaling through the nose and your exhale is and you're just drawing that out for as long as it's comfortable to you. So you might be starting and stopping at different times as me, and that's okay. All right, so get comfortable. Maybe shift the shoulders forward and backwards, maybe side to side. And if you're lying on your back, shrug your shoulders down your back and slightly tilt your chin into your chest. Nice deep breath in. Long breath out. And inhale to begin. Your exhale, you're humming. Continue. Two more times like that. One last time. Next time you inhale, let your breath return to normal, just in and out through your nose. If you're not there already, we're going to start to lay down on the back. And we're going to do a little bit of more of a down regulating practice today. So more yin shapes, which means they're longer holds, and we're mostly just kind of laying in a position or seated in a position. So lots of props nearby, like blankets and couch cushions work really well. And unless you do happen to have a bolster at home, you can grab that. But couch cushions or like firm pillows typically work really well. All right, so we're going to lay down on our backs. We're going to set up a shape called banana pose. Just take a few minutes to stretch out on your back here. Notice how your spine feels, in particular your lumbar spine. And then we're going to just wiggle the shoulder blades off to the right side. So I want your shoulder blades to stay in contact with the floor. Your chest stays broad and open to the ceiling. We're not coming into a twist. This is a lateral. Your lateral body is your side body stretch. So you're just wiggling your shoulder blades off to the right side. That means you're stretching into your left side. You're going to walk your heel bones off to the right side as well. And then you'll probably start to feel some sensation along that outer left hip, maybe even into the low back, maybe the outer left leg, you feel some sensation. From here, you can start to add on with the arms. So you can stretch your arms all the way overhead. But we want the biceps just kind of framing out the head so the arms aren't over the face. They're just up and overhead. Unless it doesn't feel good on your shoulders, then you can just stretch your arms out wide. If you are taking your arms up and over your head, you want to be able to relax your arms completely onto something solid. So I like to have, sometimes I'll have a blanket above my head or a bolster so that I can rest my forearms and the backs of my hands on something solid. You know, your arms might come all the way to the floor naturally. You might have that range of motion in your shoulders, in which case, great, do that. But otherwise, just make sure you're supporting your body. Okay, and now I'm going to set us a timer. I'm going to give you one more option to add on, and that would be crossing the ankles. Okay, so you could try crossing your right ankle on top of your left ankle. To me, that feels the best in my hips. To me, it feels more stabilizing. But you can also cross your left ankle on top of your right, and that might feel like more of a stretch along the outer left leg. You can also just keep your heel bones grounded and parallel with each other. Feel free to try both. See which one works best for you. And then we're starting to settle into that stillness. Try to return to that slow, deep belly breath in and out through your nose. And then I'm just going to be quiet here for the next few minutes, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out of our shape. Take your last couple breaths here. When you're ready, slowly start to walk your way back towards center. Take your time with that. And then we'll spend a little bit of time in the center, and you can be still, you can stretch your legs out long, but you could also bend your knees and let your knees sway side to side. Sometimes it's helpful to just release the low back a little bit if that feels tender at all. Just take a couple more breaths in center before we set up our second side. All right, now we're going to set up our second side. So again, just try to keep your chest nice and open towards the ceiling. Keep the shoulder blades both equally grounded. Wiggle them off to the left side with your legs stretched out. You can walk your heel bones off to the left side as well. And so you're just looking for a little bit of sensation along that outer right hip, the leg. And then we can start to explore adding on with the arms. You can stretch your arms up and overhead. And again, feel free to use support underneath the backs of the forearms and or the hands. You don't have to keep your arms straight and you don't have to keep them overhead. These are just options. Feel free to explore crossing of one ankle or the other. Settling back into that stillness. Slow, deep belly breaths. And just trying to get as relaxed and heavy in your body as you can. As little effort as possible here. Take one more breath where you are. And slowly start to make your way out when you're ready. Come back to the center and you can find that neutral stillness, or you can bend the knees and sway the knees side to side. Just paying attention to how you feel. After you release out of a long hold like that, sometimes tells us, it can be kind of like a diagnostic tool. It can tell us where tissues are tighter, where we need a little bit of extra attention. We're going to come back to the center of the mat, bend the knees, plant the feet. We're going to come into a gentle twist to just help that lumbar spine release. If there's any residual achiness there, I'm going to take a pillow outside of my left hip. I'm going to first bump my hips off to the right and then let my knees fall to the left. So again, Before I come into the twist, I'm bumping my hips off to the right side and then letting my knees fall off to the left. There's that pillow to catch my knee and ankle. You could also slide something, a prop, in between the thighs and knees if there's a lot of space there. And then stretch your right arm wide off to the right side. You might even turn your head and look over your right shoulder. I'd invite you to take your left hand and place it somewhere on your body, maybe onto your belly or your outer right hip. So similar to the last shape, we'll hold for time, we'll hold in stillness. I'll let you know when it's time to come out. You're trying to release any muscular tension, just let it go, let it rest. And it takes time for the body to do that. It takes time for the nervous system to catch up with the physical body, what it's doing, being still. Sometimes, if the nervous system's really rubbed up and feeling like we need to reduce, if you're in the middle of your workday, that can be a challenge, which is why holding for time is so important. So the science says it takes about at least 2 minutes for our nervous system to catch up and get the message, okay, I'm safe here. I can be still. I can relax. This is why we hold for time. I'll take about 2 more breaths where you are. When you're ready, you can start to unwind, come back to center. Again, just take a few moments to find that place in center where you can either be still and stretch out, or if you need to add a little bit of movement side to side, that's totally fine. A couple breaths here. And if we're using props, we're going to start to switch them off towards that right hip. If your legs are stretched out, bend your knees, plant your feet. We'll lift the hips up and scooch them off to the left a few inches. And then you're going to let the knees fall to the right. Add in your props here. What do you need to support stillness? Left arm stretching wide off to the left side. You're trying to stay grounded in your left shoulder. And your right hand may be connected to the body somewhere. We have about 3 minutes in this shape. We'll take about 3 more breaths here. As you're ready, start to unwind, come back to center. Maybe take a full body stretch, maybe stretch your legs out long, maybe reach your arms overhead. Our next shape is going to be supported bridge pose. So this is where you're going to need one of your props. And again, just a reminder at home, if you don't have like the traditional yoga props, you could fold up a thick blanket and that becomes about the height of a block. You just want to make sure it's nice and even underneath your pelvis. Couch cushions work pretty well if they're nice and dense couch cushions. You can always stack blankets together too. Or if you do have yoga blocks at home, feel free to use those. And so again, the target area is the back of the pelvis. That's what we're elevating. So lay down on your back, bend your knees, plant your feet, and slide your prop underneath your pelvis. Make sure it's underneath the pelvis and not the low back. Options with the legs here. You can stay just as you are, knees bent, feet planted. You could take the soles of the feet together, knees wide for a little bit of external rotation through the hips. You could stretch the legs out long. Okay, so 3 options again. Number 1, stay in that starting position, knees bent, feet planted. I think that's probably the most gentle way to approach this. Soles of the feet together, knees wide for a little bit of external rotation through the hips, or legs stretching out long. What is going to allow you to find the most rest in your body? What do you need to do to let go of tension, unclench, release? And with your arms, you can stretch them overhead. You can rest your hands on your belly. You can stretch them out wide. Really, whatever you want to do with your arms, as long as it's comfortable. Here's my little pro tip for my yin practice in my restorative days. I like to make a hot water bottle and use it in my practice. So right now I have my hot water bottle on my belly. Something to keep in mind for next time. So we'll spend about 1 more minute in this shape, and I'll invite you to stay just as you are if you'd like to. But if you would want to take this into an inversion, you could explore that too. To take it into an inversion, I recommend moving your prop just a little bit more towards your low back now. Bend your knees, float your feet off the mat, and then try to extend your feet up towards the ceiling. And we want a little bit of a tilt to the pelvis. The pelvis wants to be tilted towards the chest. The feet want to be kind of moving in the direction of your head or overhead, so that you create this sense of weightlessness to the legs. So if the backs of the legs are really tight, your legs might feel kind of heavy. In that case, you can just bend the knees and let the hands hold on to the backs of the legs. So I'm not trying to turn this into an ab exercise. Not today. Not that ab exercises are bad, but just not today. Couple more breaths here. Feel free to add any movement. You can circle out through the ankles. Give the legs a little shake. One more breath. Start to bring the feet back to the mat if you lifted them. Nice and slow. Remove your prop from your pelvis. As you come back down to the mat, a few pelvic rocks. So press down through the tip of your tailbone. And then let your low back lift. And then reverse that. So you're pressing down through your low back and curling your tailbone under. It's a very, very small movement. Pelvis stays on the floor the whole time. Just tipping your tailbone forward and backward. We're going to start to set up for our final rest, Shavasana. And maybe you want to turn that into a little bit of an inversion. You could take your legs up the wall if you have wall space. You can just swing your legs over the edge of a couch or a bed if you have something nearby. A stool works too. Or you can just slide some props underneath the backs of the knees, which is, I think, what I'm going to do actually. So take a few moments to set up your shape. Be in our Shavasana for about 3 minutes. 3 to 4 minutes. And then we'll end our practice with our breathing exercise, that same Bhramari breath. I always like to pad the back of my head too with a blanket or a pillow in my Shavasana. Okay, so relax your shoulders down your back. Maybe stretch the arms out wide. Palms can face the ceiling, or again, you can connect your hands to your belly. It feels best in your arms. If you haven't done so yet, let your eyes close down. Breathing in and out through your nose, nice and slow. Begin to deepen your breath. Gentle movement to your fingertips and your toes. Move your head side to side. Feel free to close your practice where you are on your back. But if you'd like to, you can come to an upright seat. We'll take about 5 rounds of Bhramari breath to close out our practice. And if you are coming to that upright seat, support it, let it be comfortable, let it be easeful. All right, let's take a full round of breath, just a normal breath to prepare. In and out through your nose. Let's inhale to begin 5 rounds Brahmari breath. One more time. Bring your hands together at your heart. Begin to rub your hands together. Just creating some heat and friction between the hands. And once the hands feel warm, you're going to take them and just cup them over the eyes, feeling that heat. Regenerate your senses. Moving into the brain, down the spine. You can release your hands back into your lap. Just taking a moment here to honor your practice with reverence and gratitude. May you remember that you will always be okay. May you find a light that guides you and keeps you safe. May you have hope, help, and happiness along the way. Namaste, yogis.